Welcome. We're glad to have you here for our wonderful Zoom presentation. We're going to be talking about our Music Cities tour, and with me, of course, is Tracy from Colette, and she's going to give you a briefing on what this is. Welcome, Tracy.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Brett, for that wonderful introduction. And I hope you're all sitting nice and cozy from the comfort of your home as I take you on a little armchair vacation through our America's Music Cities tour. And as Brett mentioned, Friendship Tours is partnering with Colette on this wonderful 8-day tour, including 11 meals. And I'm just going to walk you through the day to day itinerary, kind of show you all of the wonderful inclusions that you have. Any of the specific details you will work directly with Barbara from Friendship. But we just want to give you a little bit of a taste. We understand you're sitting at home, there's going to be a lot of distractions. I'm going to run through this pretty quickly. I'm not going to keep you here all evening. Again, this is just a taste on the Music Cities, just to kind of run you through and get you excited about this wonderful tour that Friendship Tours has. So we are departing September 15th through the 22nd of this year. As I mentioned, it's 8 days, 11 meals, and you are staying in New Orleans for 2 nights, Oxford, Mississippi for 1 night, 2 nights in Memphis, and 2 nights in Nashville. And it actually used to just be New Orleans, Memphis, and Nashville. And we added that extra night in Oxford due to the recommendation of our travelers. It does break up the drive a little bit, it makes it a little bit easier on our travelers. And Oxford is a really cool little town in Mississippi that we just kind of wanted to add as an added benefit for our travelers. So this is the routing of our tour. Again, 8 days to New Orleans out of Nashville. We are working on air out of Bradley, and Friendship Tours will take care of all of those details to make this trip as easy as possible for our travelers. That is the goal. We always say with travel, let us take care of the details so that you get to just relax and enjoy the experience. Not only will you have the wonderful travel coordinator from Friendship Tours helping you out and joining you, making it a little bit less stressful as you depart from Bradley. But once you arrive into New Orleans, you will not only have that friendship coordinator, but you will also have a full-time tour manager with you from the start in New Orleans till the end of your trip in Nashville. So this really gives our travelers peace of mind knowing that you're in good hands. Any questions you may have can be answered by somebody who knows the destination well. So, as I said, the tour starts out in New Orleans. It is 2 nights in New Orleans. Once you arrive, we have transportation set up right at the airport to bring you to your first hotel, which is most likely the Sheraton Hotel or the Royal Sonesta, located perfectly right in the heart of New Orleans. We don't have too much planned that first day, just because we never know with flight schedules if there's any, flight delays or anything like that. We never want any of our travelers feeling like they're missing out on anything. So New Orleans is very pedestrian friendly. The tour manager will greet you and have some suggestions as to what to do during that first day. The next day, all aboard, we are taking you on sightseeing throughout the wonderful city of New Orleans. We are going to take you up to Esplanade Street. This is where all of the beautiful 19th century mansions line the roads. We're also going to take you over to a cemetery. And I know you look at this photo and you go, really? I'm going to visit a cemetery while on tour? But cemeteries in New Orleans actually play an important role in their history. A lot of these crypts that you see in this photo have very rich history to them. In addition, you will learn about how in New Orleans they actually have to bury their dead above ground because of where they fall sea level, because of the flooding that they endure. They have to actually bury their dead above ground. So it's a little interesting, and their cemeteries are so intricate with their design of their crypts that we really want to take you over there to see that. Then you'll get to go over to the French Quarter and see the beautiful St. Louis Cathedral. Absolutely gorgeous, rich history here, dating back to the 1700s, and we'll give you a nice walking tour of the area. All right, let me just move my dog out of my office. If you can hear my little My little, not a child, it's my furry child. From there, we have our wonderful welcome dinner. And this is where you're going to get to really get to know your fellow travelers and get to have the wonderful flavors of New Orleans, that Creole, that interesting flavors of this area. So, wonderful way to kind of kick off the trip. After dinner, we have reserved seating at a local jazz club. So, Mason Bourbon. We're going to head over there for reserved seats and get to listen to some wonderful jazz music. Because again, Music Cities Tour, you've got your jazz of New Orleans, you've got your rock and roll of Memphis, and you've got your country music of Nashville. So that's what it's all about. The next day, we're going to start making our way up to Oxford. Along the way, we will do a stop at the Grammy Museum. This is a hands-on museum. They've got wonderful displays. You get to go and see some of the different Grammy winner outfits. It's interactive, hands-on, lots of fun for our travelers. And then we just head over to Oxford. It's a relaxing evening that night in the town of Oxford, and dinner is included that evening as well for our travelers. We then continue on making our way to Memphis, known for their rock and roll. While here, we will give you some time to learn about the rock and roll and soul and get that Southern hospitality. Of course, while here, we have to take you over to Graceland, right? You'll get to see some of the different rooms of Graceland. This is Elvis's palatial palace. You've got the jungle room there, the racquetball room, the living room. We'll take you over to see his I say memorabilia and rewards room. They've got a costume room. It is incredible, this palatial palace. My favorite room when I visited here was actually the room where they listed all of the donations that Elvis made throughout his life. You remember when you used to write checks and they would return your check to you after the bank cashed it? Well, they actually have a room where they take all of his return checks and all of the
Oh,
different
geez.
wonderful organizations that he donated to. And it was really nice to see how philanthropic, not only is he talented, but he gave back to the community as well. You'll get to see his car collection, his costume collection. He even had a plane named Lisa Marie that you see there. And we finish off the tour actually at the meditation garden, where him, as well as some of his closest relatives, are laid to rest. And you can say a little prayer and have a little meditation at that garden. You will be overnighting at the guest house at Graceland. This is a really cool area, very nice upscale hotel for our travelers. If you know Elvis, you know he loved his peanut butter and jelly sandwich, which is available at the downstairs cafe throughout the evening if
And
you get a little
bananas.
hungry.
Yeah.
So, wonderful place to stay. And we do have dinner included for our travelers that evening. The next day will be an important day for our travelers. We're going to take you on a civil rights history tour. We are going to follow the route of Martin Luther King's last march. We will be stopping at Mason Temple, where he gave his famous speech, "I've been to the mountaintop." So we'll stop there. You'll get some time at the National Civil Rights Museum, and then you'll have some free time for lunch on your own. After that, we are heading over to Sun Studio. Some say Sun Studio is one of the most famous recording studios in the world. We'll give you some time to, tour through the studio. And then afterwards, we'll finish up our sightseeing at the Memphis Rock and Roll Museum to have some time to walk around and listen to some of that rock and roll music. The evening is on your own. My travelers, when I went, and I did do this with a group, we headed out to Beale Street. We had fun. It's lined with different restaurants and bars. It is pedestrian friendly. We walked into many of the different restaurants with live music. It was a lot of fun and a great way to spend the evening. From there, our next stop is going to be heading to Nashville, where you will be spending 2 nights at the Gaylord Opryland Hotel. This is a vacation in itself, staying at the Opryland Hotel. It is such a treat. When you go inside, It has a beautiful atrium. You can actually take a little cruise down the indoor river that they have in the Gaylord Opryland. There is an upgrade room available, so definitely ask Barbara a little bit about that. The upgrade is to basically seeing out into the atria view. So just basically a better view and a better position in the hotel. Honestly, you're going to be out and sightseeing so much that if you're looking to save a little money, not necessary. I say it's a ski trip, SKI, spending your kids' inheritance. Because if you don't spend it upgrading, they will. So if you have the money, enjoy it, upgrade to that superior room with the gorgeous view. While in Nashville, we will be taking you to the Ryman Auditorium. This auditorium is where the Gaylord Opryland, the famous recording studio, where it took place back in 1924. So you will get to see the Grand Ole Opry from 1925. It does have memorabilia in here. You can walk around, take some different pictures, but this is where the beginning of the Grand Ole Opry took place. That evening, we will take you to where the Grand Ole Opry now takes place, which is much nicer, a little bit of a facelift. We have reserved seats that evening at the Gaylord Opry. So really cool highlight of this trip, getting those reserved tickets. We don't know who the performer is, just in case anybody's wondering, but I can tell you, our travelers have never had a complaint. It's usually a wonderful country singer, and it's a lot of fun for our travelers to experience. The next day, we have lots of sightseeing included for you. We're going to take you to the Country Music Hall of Fame. If you look at this picture of this building, it might look kind of interesting, the architecture. They actually built it to look like and replicate a piano. So we'll get to go inside this museum and see all of the different memorabilia. And then from there, we are going to head over to RCA Studio B. This is where some famous artists have recorded their songs. You've got Dolly Parton, Elvis Presley, all the famous people. And if you're lucky, you may get your own chance to record a song in Studio B. When I was there, we actually had some music play over the speakers, and the whole group got to sing a song and record it, which was a lot of fun. And we thought we were fabulous. I'm sure, the engineer was plugging his ears, but we had fun. And then also we have, while in Nashville, a choice experience where you get to choose what you want to do that afternoon. And it's going to the Goo Goo Candy Shop or visiting the Johnny Cash Museum. So the Goo Goo Candy Shop will take you through, and you'll learn all about those famous Goo Goo clusters. You'll get to purchase some, bring them home as a wonderful little souvenir to give to your family and friends. Or you can head over to the Johnny Cash Museum, which pays tribute to the fabulous Johnny Cash, who's been known as one of the top performers. And so they, have memorabilia, they have some different demonstrations. They'll talk all about Walk the Line, all of that for you. And then we have included on this day what we like to call a farewell lunch included. So instead of a dinner, we're going to do it as a lunch, so that you have some free time that evening in case you want to go and do some line dancing, or you have a specific restaurant that's on your bucket list and you want to hit. So we're all together at this point. We're going to have a wonderful farewell lunch. You'll have some free time that evening. Maybe you want to roam around and enjoy the amenities of the fabulous Gaylord, the hotel that you'll be staying at while there. Depending on what your interests are, you'll have that free night. The next day, we will provide transportation to the Nashville airport for your flight back to Bradley. So all of that is included for you. And here is a short little video to kind of wrap it up.
You could go travel on your own, but to do this job, it's about the people. Building relationships with them and getting to hear their stories, that's what makes you do it over and over again. My name is Wesley Glass. I'm originally from Alabama. If I could invite our guests to come and experience one tour with me, that'd be America's Music Cities. I think one wow factor for the guests on that tour, when they come to New Orleans, the fact that we are staying across the street from the French Quarters, they're getting to walk and experience it. They're getting to be on the streets with the people that live here, experiencing the city the way that they do. I think one thing that anyone can bond with someone over, it's the love of music.
Now let's see if I
You
can
could go
get out of
travel.
here. Hold on one second. Exit. We had trouble when we were practicing. Did I get out of it? Give me 1 second, folks.
No problem. So I will tell you, there were a couple
Oh,
quick questions that were in the chat. People
okay,
asked the
perfect.
maximum number. So I believe it's 42 for it,
44.
44 for the trip, for the
Yep.
most that would be on it. And this trip does have a minimum. So to go, I believe we're 25, I believe is our minimum.
Yes, we are looking for 25 travelers to make this for a representative from Friendship to travel with
Perfect. And
everybody. So
so
high
now what
floating.
you see on the screen is the flyer. This can be downloaded right from friendshiptours.net. You can get the day by day. And then on the back of the flyer, it's giving the deposit information. So $900 would be the deposit. Final payment on this is due in June 25th. Reservations, you just simply call us right at the office, 860-243-1630. Barb, who's on the call, she'll take all your information and get you what you need, including this has the cancellation policy. So we highly recommend Trip Protection. We can go into more details on Trip Protection for you, but this is the information that's going to be there. I know Sharon Foster had asked a little bit about music. The music that Tracy was talking about in each of these areas, they're known for different things. So Memphis, if you don't know Beale Street, that's a very famous street. And of course, you have BB King would be an example of the blues. That's why we were talking about the blues or rock and roll. In Memphis, also, of course, Elvis was from the area, and that's where that started. What I love on Nashville, when you're getting into the country and Sun Studios, that's where, of course, Elvis recorded. And it's a really special spot. My favorite areas, of course, has to be Broadway in Nashville. You can't beat going up and down the honky tonks and the wonderful country music that's at the Grand Ole Opry, and Ryman Auditorium is just a magical place. So we have the details for you on that trip. We are going to cover the next trip, which is going to be the San Antonio for the Holidays tour.